I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed." And on the pedestal these words appear: "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away." So that is Ozymandias by Percy Shelley. And any first impressions, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, this is one, I don't know when I first read this one. Could have been middle school, could have been high school. But it's just one of those ones that, it's kind of always stuck out to me over the years. I love this poem. I love the way that it ends. It's kind of a little bit of a gut punch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this is a great sort of foreshadow to American sonnets, because it's a sonnet, but it's like almost subtly a sonnet.
Mm.
It's not just say, hey, I'm a sonnet.
Right,
Hey, I'm a
right.
sonnet here. Look, check this sonnet out. Um, and so I love that about it. But yeah, and then also, we've briefly touched on the politics of it. I mean, it's not overtly political, but it sort of says something about, I guess, maybe the futility of man, and how
The
all
passing of time,
the passing of time, the fight for power, um
the passing of
and
the torch from one
mm,
sort of
mhm, mhm,
one empire to the next. And this was written after sort of the fall of Napoleon. So we
mm,
have
mm,
Napoleon, the this great figure, this son of Europe that
mhm,
brought all this information and artifacts back from Egypt
mhm,
into Europe, stimulating the European imagination. And but then Napoleon does have his fall. So now we have all this, these, we see, Egypt's known for its kings. And
mhm,
Egypt is a place where, like, Ramesses the first will have an obelisk, and then immediately in front of that there will be a bigger obelisk by Ramses the
mhm,
second. So
mhm,
a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, maybe you should respect your father's obelisk," but to the Egyptians, they were always trying to outdo each other. I move more stone than my father. I have bigger works than my father. I'm the king of kings. I'm the god on earth. So so we have a critique of that sort of mindset. And also interesting, the Brit, even though Napoleon's empire is sort of falling, the British Empire is starting to pick up and starting to make moves. So and I'm not trying to say that Shelley necessarily knew that or saw that, but the torch of great powers passes. It constantly passes, and this poem definitely articulates that.
mhm. Yeah, also that, even though, he wrote that essay, The Necessity of Atheism, it sort of expresses the idea that, the plans of, mice and men, kind of fall back to dust. That's a rough paraphrase, but, um, kind of again kind of going back to the futility of man. You can attain this great power. You can, have all these mighty works. Can you actually determine what will get passed on? I mean, you can't. It's
Right.
sort of this lack of control that we have. Because the desert sort of takes it all back, in a
Mm-hmm.
way. Or just like, how like the jungle reclaim everything.
Right.
Essentially, the world has sort of reclaimed this sort of effort made by man, and it all comes to naught. And so I love this. I love how this poem just illustrates that, and kind
Right.
of kind of brings that home. It's almost a little bit of a parable.